you are going down in history as the worst mayor in America.
We have made a commitment, my administration, to pensioners and to workers and to families in this city. The budget will be balanced.
Why would we spend over $600 million on migrants?
When are you going to stop spending all of their tax dollars on protecting migrants and start spending their dollars protecting them?
We have $1 billion deficit at a time when our taxpayers are struggling to try and say that we're going to raise your taxes, raise your fees, raise your fines so we could offer city employees a 12% year-to-year pay increase is unacceptable.
Chicago is broke. And I don't mean we're struggling a little broke. I mean, check under the couch cushions and pray broke. Chicago is staring down basically about $1 billion in the hole budget-wise, and somehow Mayor Brandon Johnson looked at that and said, you know what? Let's make it worse.
Mayor Johnson's staff started the process of selling city council on this budget, many of whom are already skeptical of these new taxes involved, especially a corporate head tax proposal that would charge an employee head tax of $20 per worker per month on companies that have more than 100 people.
So you see right here, this is Brandon Johnson, where things were a little better back then. He became mayor, had all these progressive policies, all these great plans, and so far he has done nothing but have one of the worst polling ratings ever. He is probably the worst mayor in the country. This man is running the city like a toddler with a taser. Every move feels like someone should have stopped him 10 steps ago, but nobody did.
According to my records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. You don't care about federal law enforcement policies, only local policies.
We comply with all laws.
28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone. Cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
Now, Chicago always had problems, but Mayor Johnson, he's turning those problems into a bigger catastrophe. The migrant spending, now these wild new taxes, federal problems, local rage, and at the center of it all is a mayor that's blaming Trump for all of his problems. The city has spent over $600 million on the migrant crisis. $600 million. That's a lot of money. That's housing, food, hotels, security. Basically, Chicago's become the world's most expensive Airbnb. And instead of saying, hey, maybe we should have slowed some of this down, we don't have the budget for this, Johnson just said, you know what, let's just keep the money flowing.
Because again, your name was on this executive order of May 2023. This executive order for immigration, migrants, and refugee rights. You caused all this money to go to illegal immigrants, not Harold Washington. You gonna be held accountable for it. And we want a forensic audit of the money that was spent on illegal immigration. You all are trying to do everything but that, when in fact, that's where all the money went.
Then more money, more millions of dollars. And just like that, the man continued to throw money at the crisis like it was going to sprout wings and just solve itself. Meanwhile, there's tons of problems with the infrastructure. Cops are quitting. Schools are starving for funds. But Brandon Johnson thought it was a good idea to hand out 5-star hotel stays to people who just got there yesterday. Brandon Johnson treated the city budget like a bottomless brunch. Don't worry, guys, refills are free. The problem is, in reality, they're not. And this right here is how you break a city's back. Because the hole in the budget looks like it was made out of Galactus himself, Johnson is now trying to fix it. He's trying to patch it up with creative taxes. And by creative, did he come up with this at 3 o'clock in the morning after watching Shark Tank? So first, it's called a head tax. $20 per employee if your business has more than 100 people. Because nothing says like, let's fix the economy by punishing companies for hiring people. Then he comes out with this really genius plan, the social media tax. 50 cents per user. Some people are even calling this unconstitutional. And honestly, I think they got a point here.
Under his proposal, social media companies would pay 50 cents for every active user each month. The first 100,000 users are exempt. The Johnson administration says it would raise $31 million, money they would use to fund expanded crisis response and city-run mental health clinics. It's a tax no other U.S. city has implemented.
On its face, frankly, it's unconstitutional.
She says a 1983 Supreme Court decision backs her up.
The court ruled that you cannot single out media for special tax treatment. And this is what Chicago is doing here, right? The city can tax businesses broadly, but the moment they pick out specific media companies, it becomes constitutionally suspect.
For starters, cities don't exactly have the power to tax a platform that operates across the entire country. So that's a legal mess waiting to happen. And trust me, Google and Facebook, they have a lot of money, so you know they're gonna have the best possible lawyers to even shut this thing down. I mean, even if somehow this was passed, it would be a nightmare to enforce. Are they going to send a bill to every user, every platform, every out-of-state company? It's basically trying to put a parking meter on the internet. It just seems like a dumb idea financially. Big platforms aren't just going to shrug it off and pay it. They're either going to raise their prices, pass it down to users, or find a loophole so fast they'll make City Hall dizzy. Or it's possible they'll just leave Chicago entirely. Meanwhile, Chicago will just waste money fighting lawsuits it probably won't win. So instead of fixing the budget, this kind of stunt just burns more cash. This is a headline cash grab dressed up as policy. Even Governor Pritzker, his buddy, says, you know what, this is a terrible idea. This sounds like a job killer.
I am absolutely foursquare opposed to a head tax for the city of Chicago. It penalizes the very thing that we want, which is we want more employment in the city of Chicago. And it makes it very hard to attract companies from outside of Chicago to come into Chicago and harder for companies that are in Chicago to stay.
So when your own team starts roasting your dumb plan, you're not leading, you're just embarrassing yourself. You can't tax your way out of stupidity. You can only make it more expensive. Anytime someone brings up the fact that the city is broke, Johnson points at Trump every single time. It's the federal government's fault.
And as Democrats, we're either going to fold to Trump's cuts or we are going to roll him over. And I am saying that as working people, we have to roll over this Trump administration and ensure that we have the revenue to continue to hire people, to continue to educate our children, to continue to make sure that we have good paying jobs, to continue to make sure that we're protecting people's retirement, to make sure that our transportation system is running. The Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, they're recognizing the economic comeback of Chicago and how Trump's cuts are hurting that. Look, the president's cuts are real. He's cutting our public education system. He's cutting off our public transportation investments. Every single lawsuit that we have taken to the court on behalf of the people of Chicago, we've won. And so we fully expect that the courts will understand their authority to make sure that there's some check and some balance to this president that is clearly working outside of the bounds of his constitutional authority.
You're the mayor of Chicago. You're not the president of excuses. You knew what was going on before you took the job. Chicago is a sanctuary city. But the problem is the previous administration had a lot of people jump on in. And instead of having a balanced plan or an honest assessment of the situation and see that this cannot sustain, money is a finite resource. You can't just give it away. It's like opening a lemonade stand, giving everything away for free, and then start to cry because you can't afford to buy more lemons. Just like most of these really bad mayors, he refused to take responsibility for anything. I haven't heard him say that we have made mistakes, that I have messed up as a leader of the city of Chicago. I don't think he's ever said that, and I don't think he ever will. So the residents are really mad. They're asking what happened to the money here? How is it being spent? The feds are probably sniffing around too. The people in Chicago are over this.
So anything that you all pass, it's not genuine. It's not honest. Because you're trying to cover up where our money actually went.
Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup. So I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson. This is some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge, you got the makeup brush right there, so you can save this people some money, for crying out loud.
Businesses are threatening to leave. Everyone is pissed off. And his approval rating is extremely, extremely low. But just like you see this happy guy right here at the moment, happy mayor, He came in with a lot of promises. All he did was spend a lot of money and have no accountability for his own actions. He promised heaven, spent like hell, and then blamed whoever was trending on cable news, especially on the political side, when the bill came due. This is Chicago's favorite rerun. Corrupt, broke, repeat. The only difference is now, instead of hiding it, they're doing it out in the open with a straight face. So that's where we at. It's a broke city, a mayor in denial with terrible ideas, and a bill that's getting bigger by the minute. Chicago definitely deserves better than this, but until someone actually picks up a calculator, this is the ride they're going to be stuck on, and it's not going to be a smooth one. So let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.